Oops, we got to move the chair. Oh my gosh. This is too funny. Let's see, who we got here? Come on, let's find out. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy day. I mean, it's already a crazy day. Hello, Ted Benson. It's good to see you. Whoops. Boy, you'd think I'd know how to use a keyboard by now, but I don't. What can I say? Holy cow. So we're playing with some of vMix 24's new features today, hence the title, some sort of excellence. And playing around. Oh, we're going to have fun with some stingers. And then I've got these alerts going right now that I'm not recording, and I don't have enough volume, and it's driving me crazy. I can tell the alerts are not going to last long with me. The search function is going to be nice. We're going to look at that. And for those of you that have been kind of struggling with YouTube, we're going to take a look at what vMix has done to make some of that a little bit easier, depending on how you look at it. So it ought to be a fun show. As usual, it's always sort of a fun show. And Jan is here, says my watch is wrong. Well, no, you don't do that. I've changed the clocks in here. It's we are on Central Time. On Daylight Savings Time here in the States. That's right. Daylight Savings Time. Jeep and Dave from Colorado will tell you he's on Daylight Savings Time. So there we go. So I have been, and I'll mention this again, but I've been planning to go to NAB in September, I think it is, in Las Vegas. I've understood that vMix won't be going this year, and that in fact Australia could still be under lockdown. They're not allowed to leave the country. But nevertheless, I was thinking it might be fun to go and just hang out. We'll do the Streaming Idiots meetup. Probably do that on Monday night, assuming everything works out well. And I was also thinking about maybe having a less formal meetup, but maybe for breakfast every morning. And I was thinking about trying to find some folks that would come and talk with us on a particular subject. Monday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. I guess it was just 4 mornings. So I thought that might be fun. So hold on one second here. Thought I had to sneeze. Oh, well. So I am indulging in a little snack, and I'm all out of lemonade. Oh, gosh. There was not even a drop left. So let's see. So if you're interested in that, NAB is October. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, David. And Tommy says, I love you, Jan, but I love Marie more. Careful, man. Those are fighting words right there. Hello, David Simon. Good to see you. So if you've got some thoughts on folks that might be able to that you might be interested in hearing in a very informal gathering, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to get a hold of them. Or if you've got some subjects that you definitely want to have folks to hear on, then definitely good to do it. Hello, Jens. Glad to see you. Won't be seeing you this year. Sorry about that. Hello, Martin. Welcome. Hello, Cliff. Cliff, I have an idea for a show I want you to help me with. Can't say it out loud because it's super cool, and I haven't seen your Urbanist clip yet. I mean, your Urbanist show. If you would, post a link to it in the chat. What Cliff has done is he has used a combination of multiple vMix calls on cell phones as if they were cameras, and followed the Urbanist, who does kind of an IRL, in real life live stream about places in New York. And they followed him around and did sort of a multi-camera live stream. And so it's a great idea, and I look forward to seeing how it turned out. Welcome, Dreamcatcher. Good day. Glad to have you here. I would offer you a peanut, but I can't get them through the screen. Well, darn. So let's see. What else did we have? We've got just a few minutes here. Oh, it was fun last night. Sandy and I were just hanging out, and our TV in the living room has we don't have cable anymore. Welcome from Kenya, Nairobi. So we're just on internet, and we have a Roku stick, I guess is what they call it. Anyway, it allows us to watch YouTube videos. And I pulled up a YouTube video from, I guess, maybe about this time last year, or may have been 2 years ago. Anyway, had just some peanuts, Cliff. But I had my grandson in here, and he did the whole show. And it was so much fun to watch him. Of course, he's 2 years older now and much more mature at 11. But it was cool. I appreciate you guys indulging me with that to bring kinfolk on the show. Hello, Otis. Otis, glad to have you. I'm trying to get lunch in here as we wait for the show to start, so please forgive me. David Simon says, Tom Sinclair, you should join a bunch of people talk about live streaming on Clubhouse every Monday. Well, I don't have any kind of Apple stuff. So, I'm not a good candidate. I guess I could borrow something from my wife. Borrow her iPad mini. Tommy says, Tom, can you refer me to a free site to teach building a website? Tommy, I would bet that there are 100,000 videos out there of people that are teaching how to build a WordPress website. And I'd watch at least 500 of them before I did anything. But if you'll do, like DIY, do it yourself website in Chrome, in YouTube, I think you'll find what you're looking for. DIY website, or maybe put WordPress. WordPress is all one word. WordPress is a very popular, inexpensive way to put a semi-decent website out there. It depends on your skills. Great question, Tommy. Tommy's over watching the Streaming Idiots in Facebook. So there we go. Jan is like, what kind of old tech do you use, Tom? Can't even share your candy through a live stream? Well, it's not candy today. It's a healthy snack. Sandy wants me to have a healthy snack. Jan and Marie and Sandy and I had the joy of having dinner together at IBC, the last IBC there was over in Amsterdam in 2019. That was a real treat. Welcome, Gunnar. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, Frank B. Cliff says, come on out, Clubhouse show. Well, I don't know how to get there if I don't have Mac. That's the thing. That's the thing. Let's see. Dreamcatcher, we are approving your post that I think is for Tommy. But Tommy can't see that because he's watching on. Well, he can see it. You can see it right up there. There you go, Tommy. Have a look. Have a look. We have 1:45 left. Tommy says, I use WordPress, but I'm lazy. I want you to, you want me to do it for you? Oh, well, Scott can help you. There you go. Hello, Addison. Welcome. Glad to have you. Addison and Scott are on the Streaming Idiots group on Facebook, as is Larry Reed. Hello, Larry. Welcome, sir. Hope you got my note. So it looks like Tommy's getting some good help over there in his request for information on a website that builds itself, apparently. Yeah. There we go. Taco Thursday. Otis is at lunch. Well, Otis, I hate to say this, but today is Wednesday. Now, it's a different time because of here in the U.S., it's Eastern time. Excuse me. Did it again. Daylight savings time. Daylight savings time here in the West. So you guys have to get with it. I think you're a week or two behind. Australia's going, at some point, going off of summertime. Summertime time. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, let's see if we can't get this show started on time with 10 seconds to go. We ought to just cue the time up to the show opening, Jaws of Death, and have that start regardless of whether I'm ready or not. Ted Benson can finally eat in today. Well, Ted, we're just delighted. We're just delighted. Ted's a good guy. All right, let's get the show on the road here, shall we? Let's find the magic button. Here it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's going to be great. Welcome, I'm Tom Sinclair, and this is Streaming Idiots. Yes, indeed, it is Streaming Idiots. You've come to the end of the wall. I've got these doggone alerts up here that are just driving me crazy. It's a new feature in vMix 24 that they want you to go crazy. Yep, the vMix guys have finally they've lost it, and they've decided that they want everybody that uses vMix to go crazy, because they have these alerts, and these darn alerts, they just flash all the time. I got to turn them off. I got to turn them off. Hold on a second. Do you want to see me turn them off? I want to see me turn them off. Here we go. Here's a desktop capture. All right, so I'm going up to settings, and I'm going to alerts. See it? Alert right there. Alert. And I've got a volume alert. I'm going to turn that off. That's for my audio when it drops below 20 decibels for 5 seconds. I've got a fade to black alert. And you know what? I bet it's going to want to restart when I do this, and I can't restart. No, it didn't restart. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, there we go. So much better, much better. There we go. So that's so the alerts in vMix are going to gonna drive you cray cray. Yeah, they are. The other neat thing that I think is in vMix is let's see if we can get it up here. Is, well, two neat things. One is
ready for the
the stinger. It's idiot proof. Anybody can do a stinger. They can have fun with it. You said, what was that stinger? Do that again? Okay.
some sort of excellence.
So we brought Tim and Martin in, sort of. But what I wanted to show you was this is my PTZ Optics PT20X that we're using for the show today. And you notice that there are two lights on the front of it. The light on the right is the power light. The light on the left is the standby light. But PTZ Optics, Matt Davis, and vMix, Martin Sinclair, have put their pointy little heads together, and they've come up with a way to repurpose the standby light as a tally light. And you can see it's tallying now because I'm in preview. Now, you can't see me in preview, but I promise I'm in preview. So let's throw something else in preview just to, if we got something we can throw up there in preview. There we go. We'll throw this in preview. So when we do that, you notice the standby light goes off. So the live streaming gear, by the way, we're going to be doing a rename on that at some point soon to live streaming gear. So keep your eyes out for that. So now I'm not in preview. If I put myself in preview, you notice that light starts flashing. The light starts flashing. And I think, let's see, if I put myself in program, you can't see the light, but let me do that anyway, just to, yeah, there we go. And so if I do this, yeah, this is the real me. This is not just a copy of me. And so you can see that that my camera shot, this camera, is now live in output. That's the thing with vMix now, is that, you know, if any one of your inputs that has a camera in it is there, you can do the merge function, of course. We'll do the merge. There's the merge. But it will also do the tally. Now, I'm sorry that I don't have those two windows lined up perfectly as I should, but the purpose there was to do the tally and let you see that if I could see it. Of course, the little webcam that's looking at the camera right now is in the way, but if I could see it, the standby light is lit. It's green, but it's lit. And if I put myself in, let's see, how can we do this? Let's do this. Yeah. And now this is a fake me over here. And now, well, no. That's me in preview. That's me in preview. If I put the other camera in preview, the light goes off. If I put me back in preview, the light begins to flash. And then if I go live with myself, let's see, live with myself there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it works. It works. Now the light is small. But I think it's doable. And a while back, on a crazy thought, I bought a teeny weeny little magnifying round piece of plastic. And I think they were replacement magnifiers for a watch, for the date function on the watch. So if your little magnifier fell off and got lost somehow, this was a replacement magnifier. And I thought, well, you know, if they ever repurpose these, because I heard this was coming one day, but this was 2 years ago. I said, you know, I want to make that light a little bigger, so I'm going to go get that, not right now, but I'm going to go get that out of the closet because I didn't throw it away, the little bitty magnifier. and glue it on there and see if it makes the tally light any more noticeable. Probably will if it's flashing, may not if it's solid, and it's definitely not going to change the color. But now the PTZ optics, now this has to be generation 2, and it does require a firmware upgrade on the camera, and of course you have to have vMix 24 in vMix. Yeah. The other upgrade that comes with the firmware update for the PTZ optics cameras, and let's see if I can show it to you here. Let's go back and just go back to this shot right here. There we go. And then I'll come back to this shot right here. There we go. So if we go into, where are we going to go? Oh, we're going to go into the camera. So let's go to our camera tab. We'll go to the camera. We've got it connected up as a PTZ. Of course it is. So we can pan, tilt, and zoom. But now this focus portion over here actually will begin to work. So I've got it ticked right there, and I'm gonna go out of focus. Oh, well, oh, I know. I've got that slider way down, so it wouldn't happen very quickly. Well, it's funny how this was working earlier. There we go. There we go. So you say, Tom, why would you want to go out of focus? Well, you may want to go out of focus because the camera is focusing on the background, and the background is a significant number of feet below me. I'm going to turn off the automatic or whatever focus that is. I guess this turns on manual focus, that turns on automatic focus. So we'll turn on manual focus, and then this is the speed at which it focuses. So we're going to make it go really high, and you can see it quickly went out of focus. We'll go back the same way, and then we'll turn off manual focus, and then we'll turn on manual focus again. Let's make this go really slowly, and now I have a little finer control over how it goes out of focus. So I can try to zoom it in where I want, or I can just hit autofocus. I've had some times in the past where the camera kind of searches for focus, and so I can lock this down, and I believe my understanding is, in fact, we can try it. Let's go ahead and throw it out of focus. Well, let's speed that up a little bit. Come on, guys, speed it up. Oh, that's right, we got to control it right there. There we go. So let's take it out of focus, and we're going to create an input at this position, and then we're going to turn the manual focus off, create another input at this position. So we've got two inputs down here, and let's see if we put this one in preview. Does it change the focus? No, it doesn't seem to change the focus. So we will, in fact, it now looks perfectly clear. Nope, now it doesn't. So if I go live with that camera, will it go out of focus again? Nope. So the focus does not follow the preset, at least not in the way I've done it. So there we go. So that's the two changes in vMix that affect the PTZ optics cameras. One is the tally light, which is working, and the other is the focus control, which had not previously been enabled for PTZ. It was enabled for bird dogs and some of the other cameras, but not the PTZ optics cameras. Welcome, Amnon, old friend. Glad to have you, and Equinox Productions as well. Glad to have you too. We're talking about vMix 24 and some of the non-instant replay functions there, because replay is sort of, kind of taken the whole show, as it were. So we're going to try to do some of the non-replay things. One of the things that we've had fun with is the stinger. Stingers are super easy to use.
Some sort of excellence.
We can go in and out with stingers. Yep. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Tim. We have alerts that we've looked at, but one of the other things that I want to show you that is a little techie, but what the heck? I mean, that's us, isn't it? Let's go back to this desktop capture just a second. We're going to go down into stream. I think I can do this while we're streaming. I've got, yeah, here we go. I'm using 1 and 2 for Facebook and YouTube, but vMix has sort of repurposed this YouTube live stream now. That used to be a thing in Facebook, and then Facebook changed it. But YouTube, excuse me, that used to be a thing, and YouTube changed it. And now I don't even think it works. I mean, it doesn't exist in the YouTube world anymore. But vMix has gotten under the hood of the YouTube API and has kind of recreated this so that the function is the same. And let's see if we can make it work even while we're live streaming. So I'm going to select that YouTube live stream now. I'm going to go into my YouTube settings, and I'm going to log in if I haven't already. The login button would be here, and I'm logged in. And I'm going to create the stream automatically. And I'm just going to say that this is a title. This is dangerous. This is testing while streaming. Testing while streaming. And anybody can see it as public. We're not going to stream it to an event. We're going to say OK. And again, we're on number 3. And if we start number 3, we're going to use up all our bandwidth. So let's don't use Stream 1 quality. Let's use something. How about H.264 720p 1.5? That'll be enough to see if it works. And we'll give that a start. So we've now started a 3rd stream. You see it starts out, oh, and it doesn't like it. It says, oh, untick hardware encoder. Okay, we'll do that. Because we already use our hardware encoder. We've got 3 of them. We're using 1 of them for stream 1, 1 for stream 2, and 1 for the recording. So let's go back. Got that unticked. How are we doing on CPU? We're on 19% CPU. So let's start this again. And there it is, number 3. It is going. Let's see if we can bring in a YouTube window. We'll have to find it here first. I guess I could have had this, kind of already figured out in advance. And let's go to my channel. And there it is, testing while streaming, misspelled. So let's copy that. And we'll stop it because we don't want it to come in. And we'll bring it in here. So let's save that and close it. And then we'll add an input. We'll add a web browser. It's going to be the YouTube URL. We will add it here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up here in preview. And you can see that this is my misspelled testing while streaming. And it's the show. I mean, that's because that's what we have to show is the show. But it's not the same stream that is on the easternshorebroadcasting.com website, even though that's a feed from YouTube as well. It's a different YouTube URL. So we're fixing to go to, yeah, there we go. So there we go. So now we're finally catching up with ourselves. I'm going to cut that stream because I don't want to confuse YouTube too much, or me for that matter. So we'll stop that one. This one will stop in maybe 30 seconds or so. I think it's probably using normal latency. And I can interact, of course, with this. It's going to say, try something for free. I'm going to say, no thanks. And we can see, again, it's still trying to catch up. There is no chat going on there, although I could add some chat to it in Yeah, it looks like I'm fixing to turn it off right there. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that one's gone. So we'll go back to ourselves here. So that's pretty nice. So that's going to be a way that you can maintain that kind of last minute, got to throw a YouTube video up there. It's a matter of going to the stream settings, selecting YouTube live stream now. If you're not already, you'll log into your YouTube account. You'll give it a title, and boom, you're streaming. It's that quickly. So that's going to be great for an ad hoc stream. I'm a big proponent now that I understand how it works, of being able to actually schedule your streams, because I schedule this stream. I mean, I only scheduled it maybe an hour ahead of time. But when I do, YouTube will send a notification to all the folks that are subscribers and that have their notification settings turned where they can receive a notification. Same thing for Facebook. As soon as I go ahead and schedule that stream, Facebook notifies everybody. And then when I go live, they do too. So there's some benefit there that I would encourage you to take advantage of if you're going to use one of these free services. Why not leverage it the way it's intended to be used? But for something quick and dirty, if you're going to stream right now, I mean, literally right now, you're not going to be able to schedule it, because I think you have to schedule these 10 or 15 minutes in advance at least. So you've got the ability to quickly put a stream together, and I think that'll be a benefit for you. Now, it will probably be, well, how to say it? No, I guess it would. Yeah. Who cares what the what the stream key is, as long as you're streaming. The difference will be is if you want to take the YouTube feed and embed it in your website, you won't be able to do that in advance. That's what I like about scheduling the YouTube feed through the YouTube scheduler, is that at that point it does give me the embed code for that. Well, I mean, it gives me the stream. I guess it gives me the stream name, whatever. When you go to youtube.com/ and then there's letters and numbers after that, actually 11 letters and numbers, that is the unique identifier for that stream. And if I schedule a stream, then I get that unique identifier, and I can go put that in my website and just change just that portion, those 11 digits, numbers and letters. I can change those 11 digits in my embed code in my front page of my website and then on the live stream, so that it always appears there. And that same embed, key, what would you call it? It's not a code, it's not a key. It's those 18 characters, those 11 characters. They also will identify the chat that goes along with it. So I have, if you're watching on the Eastern Shore Broadcasting watch page, you notice there's the player up top and then the chat below. And those are actually two different portions of embed codes that I've used. One is just the stream, the other is just the chat. So I guess it's possible I could use chat from a different stream if there was one live. But where was I going with that? I guess basically just sharing with you how it works. Hello, Al. Glad to have you. Ken, glad to have you. Yes, indeedy. Hoping to see some of you guys at NAB in October. We're talking about doing a Streaming Idiots meetup. If we can put that together one night, possibly Monday night of NAB, and then have some breakfasts together where we can have some speakers or folks come in. Hello, Byron. Folks come in and talk about subjects of importance just over breakfast, probably there in the South Hall, the breakfast area there, something that doesn't cost a lot and kind of informal, and it'll be kind of fun, and we can do it every morning. So that is the list of what I wanted to show you guys about, and I'll do the stingers one more time because I really have fallen in love with these stingers because they're so easy to do.
Ready for the show.
I'm not sure that Tim's is working exactly correctly. I'll have to go back and check it, but you can put audio with it. So I just picked up really quick and dirty, obviously picked up some audio from some of their videos and threw it in there. They did that back when NDI was introduced. They did that to me on their show. So turnabout is fair play, even if it only takes a couple of years. A word of caution. Today is the 17th of March. April 1st is rolling out. And you want to keep an eye on the vMix team because they are notorious April 1sters. Yeah, they are April 1sters. And you remember, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, they put out a press release on April 1st that Martin Sinclair had resigned as CEO of vMix, and that they were appointing, it was either a monkey or a banana. I don't remember which. Maybe it was Dan the banana guy was going to be the new CEO. And of course it was an April Fool's joke, but yeah, so keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on those guys. You just never know what they're going to do next. Although, and of course, was it last year? No, I think it was 2 years ago when they introduced the voice control vMix on April 1st. And it really does, it is a thing. It wasn't just a joke, even though it was kind of a joke. It was fun. But yeah, so keep an eye out. April 1st, those guys are coming up. But today we looked at the stingers. We looked at, I didn't show it to you. I've got it here in my notes, and I looked right over it. So let's go back to the desktop capture. And in the desktop capture, we have 2 new search functions, and I hope we'll have more in the future. But you notice right here in my my different bins, I've got a show bin, I've got a vMix call bin, a camera bin, a graphics and titles bin, an audio bin, my pre and post show bin, and then down here at the end is the search bin. And this is where I can search anything. So for example, if I wanted to search on the word call, anything that has the word call in the title will be picked up and put here on this search tab. We can do it again, and let's say, what if I've got something that says HDMI in the title? Okay, that got a couple of cameras. What if I have something that says audio in the cameras, in the description? I got a couple of audios, one audio cable and one audio line in. What if I did something for the word Martin? What am I going to get with Martin? I get Martin's audio.
Ready for the show.
There we go. What if I did a search for Tim? We'll get Tim's audio.
Some sort of excellence.
Also interesting to note that I got the current time because time has the word Tim in it. So I can do all sorts of cool searches for this. That's going to be really handy, especially when you get up there, you know, you have 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 inputs. It can be helpful. The other search is slightly different. It's in shortcuts. So we'll go to settings. We will go to shortcuts, and we'll add a shortcut. And you've got the find feature right here for the key. We've always had that. But now the function has a search bar. So if I want to find out something that has the word video call in it, up pops video call, audio source, video call, video source. Boy, I didn't even have to press the word go. If I do video, I've got several. If I do, let's do PTZ. And I've got, these are a bunch of PTZ controls. So it's good that they're named like that. I bet I could do a start, and this is going to give me everything that has the word start in it, even if it's not at the beginning. If I could do start, how about S-T-A-R-T, S-T-O-P? Yep, it'll do start, stop. So if I want to find out about recording, those are all the shortcuts that have to do with recording. What about stream? I can stop streaming, stop streaming, set key, set password, set URL, set username. There you go. And what if I said cut? Apparently there are 2 cuts. Who knew? What about preview? Oh, there are a bunch of previews. So there you go. What about overlay? This is going to be a great feature. Great feature. It's going to make life so much easier for setting up shortcuts. Now this is going to be for a new shortcut. It does not allow you to search for your existing shortcuts the way the input search allows you to search for your existing inputs. That might be nice. In fact, it would be nice to have a search for existing shortcuts and also the same kind of tab features that we have. Let's go back to this one for a second. The tabs here, we could have those same tabs and shortcuts. That would really be handy to keep our shortcuts organized, because right now they're just one giant. I mean, look at this. Let's go back to settings and we'll go into shortcuts right there. And I'm just going to slowly scroll through all the shortcuts that I don't use them all the time, but I have them all set there. And boy, wouldn't it be nice to have them better organized than just on a list right there. So yeah, yep, that'd be it. So boy, I almost forgot that. It was covered up by my keyboard. So the search function is good. The alerts, I'm not going to use the alerts. They drive me crazy, and I'm close enough to that already. So there. Let's see. Marie's asking, are you planning on coming to IBC? I would love to. Not sure. Possibly. Probably not. But, you know how that goes. Rick says, hello, Dan. Well, thank you, Rick. There you go. We can handle that. We can handle that. Tommy wants to move over to YouTube where all the cool kids are, but it won't let you change while live. Yeah, you just close the Facebook page and go to the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page and click the Watch Live tab, and you'll be there. Yep. All right, so let's close up this portion of the show. We'll go to the post-show, and we can take any questions or comments that you have there. If you have any questions about the new vMix 24, Eastern Shore Broadcast, that's us. Let's get that URL up there again. There you go. That's us, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. We are a vMix reseller. I mean, we love vMix, of course, and we resell vMix, but we resell vMix because we love vMix. It wasn't the other way around. It's definitely a love relationship. I don't sell anything that I don't love, and I don't think you'll love too. Well, I take that back. There have been a couple of times people have talked me into something, and I'm like, well, okay. Also build PCs for folks that want to do live streaming. Had somebody call me this morning. Their PC crashed yesterday. They had somebody buy them a Costco PC and set it up for them with vMix, and it never worked right, and finally it crashed, and they were able to take it back because of the warranty. And they said, Tom, please, can you build us a PC and ship it to us like tomorrow? So that's what we'll be doing the rest of the afternoon and evening. And in the morning is getting their PC ready to go. Kind of an emergency thing, and it's a good client. So if you have us building a PC for you right now and it takes an extra day, that's probably why. We apologize, but it was an emergency. Also coming up in April, not April 1st, but April 6th, is our vMix 101 class, the basics of live production. We just finished up our fourth vMix 101 class a couple of weeks ago, and this will be our fifth class. If you're an alumni of classes 1 through 4, you're welcome to join us again for free. Shoot me an email, and I'll send you a code for that. And we do want to limit it to just one person per alumni. Last time I think we had 4 people from one organization show up, and they only bought 1 ticket to begin with. So let's don't abuse it. But if you haven't taken the class, you really enjoy it. It goes through vMix head to toe. It's a live class. I mean, yeah, you can. The the tutorials that vMix does are really outstanding. Tim's tutorial skill has just, you look at some of the old ones compared to some of the new ones, and he hits out of the park every time now. But it's not live, and you can't ask a question. In fact, he'll tell you, don't put a question down below, send it to us email. But some of the discussions that we have in the class when we get to the question and answer portion, where people are asking, if this, then that, and then somebody else says, well, if that, then what about this other? And, everybody learns so much more because of the ability to ask questions and have discussion. We also record each class, and we post it in a private Facebook group that everybody in the class gets membership to. So if you miss a class or have to take a phone call or something like that, then you can come back later and watch the recording in Facebook. The class is 6 weeks. It's a commitment. It's 2 hours a day for 6 weeks, so it's 12 hours of good, solid training. And you'll come out on the other end, maybe not a vMix expert, but sure more comfortable with vMix than you were before. To take an expert, you have to do it 10,000 times. That's the definition of an expert. So you can go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and go into the store and find the class that starts April 4th. You don't want to wait to sign up. We had more people last class than we've ever had before, and I'm thinking at some point we may have to cap classes so that there's enough time for everybody to ask questions. So don't wait. All right, so we'll be right back with the post show after this. Well, we'll do it after this.
Some
Okay, in the post show, using a new lower third. Thank you, Tim. I really like these They're kind of cool, kind of edgy. It's tilted. We're going wild. We're going crazy. Tilted at an angle. Let's see if we've got anything that's interesting. This is interesting from Rick. Let's see if we can get it up there. Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. Rick wants a printed list of inputs. Now, Rick, you can almost do that. If you go into the vMix help file and go to the shortcuts list, you can print a page at a time. Or you can paint it all and copy it into another file. So there you are. You can, in fact, you can print the entire PDF you can create a PDF of the help file, the entire help file, and then print that if you want a desk reference. Yep. Yeah, we're hoping that the folks that are going through that severe weather are doing okay. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Let's see, any other notes here that I might have missed? Yeah, this is the truth, isn't it? Jan says those audio alerts are for young folks who use background music. Yeah, not old people that use background music. But no, it's been fun. It's been fun. Let's see what's going on over in Facebook. Yeah. Facebook has got a couple of folks hanging on there and watching. Glad to have you. About a half a dozen folks over in Facebook that are giving it a look. And we also always welcome you to come over to easternshorebroadcasting.com or streamingidiots.com for that matter, and get in on the chat. That's the cool part. And this is the YouTube chat. So if you're watching it on YouTube too, then you can get it. Let's see, what else did I want to share with you guys? Oh, I know. This is going to be fun. Coming up in the future, excuse me, not sure when future, but Eastern Shore Broadcasting, Streaming Idiots, will undergo a little bit of a change. Yes. Now, I know you don't like change. Nobody likes change, unless it's nickels, dimes, and quarters in your pocket. But then maybe you'd rather have the dollars that used to be there before the nickels, dimes, and quarters were there. But this change is going to be good change. We're probably going to diminish the name Eastern Shore Broadcasting. We created that 6 or 7 years ago because we thought we were going to be sort of a bricks and mortar live streaming studio. And while I still think that's a viable business concept, it's just not the way we evolved. We evolved into a live streaming consultant, a builder of PCs, a purveyor of live streaming gear, and vMix software. And way back, probably the second or third year, we actually began the processing of trademarking live streaming gear. We have livestreaminggear.com. We may also have .net, and if we don't, and if you get it, I know you're going to want to sell it to me for $1 million, but we'll make a deal. And so we'll sort of transition Eastern Shore Broadcasting over to live streaming gear, with the thought that live streaming gear is not tied geographically to the Eastern Shore and is not tied to broadcasting, which doesn't mean now, at least not in my mind, what it would have meant 7 years ago. So we'll sort of be diminishing that thought of a bricks and mortar studio, even though we still have one and would invite people to come use it when they'd like to. Streaming Idiots probably won't be affected by that at all. We're in the same place, and even if we move to a different place, we can put the same backdrop off and up, and nobody would ever know. The idea, I think, is going to be to sort of focus in a little bit more on who we really are and let the name reflect that. So as a purveyor of live streaming gear, we're going to be live streaming gear. And we're working on logos for that and all the other things that come with it. Eastern Shore Broadcasting, of course, will probably still maintain, just to give you that sort of backwards path, if that's the way your URLs are saved in your browser. We definitely want you to be able to find us, but it'll probably be forwarded to live streaming gear when the time comes. If you have some thoughts on why I definitely should do this and this is the right idea, or if this is the wrong idea and I shouldn't go that way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Or if you've got other thoughts on that too. I mean, this is a business. This is how I make my living, but I want it to be fun and informative, and vital is probably too strong a word. But for those folks that are if you're in the live, like my customer this morning, he called because it was vital that he got a streaming PC that worked. So yeah, if in that context, I don't know if you guys can hear the sirens. I think that's an ambulance. So if you guys got some thoughts, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't want to march off in the wrong direction for no good reason. Yeah. There you go. So we are close to wrapping up. If there is anything you guys have got questions about what we've talked about today, I'd be happy to dive into any of it deeper. I would, let's see, I would commend to you the show. I believe it's on Facebook and YouTube. I know it's definitely on Facebook. I think it's on YouTube too. A show on Friday afternoons, Eastern Time, by John Maloney, called Streaming Alchemy. Now, if you're wondering about the word alchemy, it is the lost art of converting one thing into another through chemistry. There was a time when the alchemists thought that you could make gold out of lead because lead was heavy like gold, and so they tried all sorts of experiments to turn lead into gold. If it worked, they kept it a secret. So we don't know about that. But John does a great show called Streaming Alchemy on Friday afternoons. I would commend it to you. He did a show probably 2 or 3 weeks ago talking about virtual green rooms, which was really, really interesting. He didn't do it in the context of vMix. He did it in the context of the TriCaster, but nevertheless, the information was definitely applicable. He did a deep dive into the vMix, I guess it was into the API, a couple of weeks ago, and that I think is just sort of a foundational show for a future show. Basically, he was explaining to you how you, oh no, it wasn't the API, it was the XAML files. How you can get into the XAML files and find out what's going on in vMix and find out what vMix is taking itself, what vMix is telling itself about itself, and was just using that kind of as the basis for something that I think he's working towards in the future. Brilliant individual, and worth subscribing to on Facebook. He's got a Streaming Alchemy show, I think, and definitely on YouTube. John is the president of the, I think it's called the Neural Network. They make used to be a Skype-based machine that would do essentially what vMix Call does now. And now I think they've converted over, may even be using WebRTC now, but it's intended to basically take multiple callers, bring them into a virtual green room, and then get them into NDI where they're available to TriCaster or vMix or the like. So definitely commend that to you. Worth a look. Let's see. Jan says, makes perfect sense to do such a brand transition. Byron Ron Lindsay says, name change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, well, I appreciate both those sentiments, and I share both those sentiments. You don't want to turn your back on something, but I think, well, here's a good story for you. This was in magazine. I'm not sure if it still is around in the U.S. anymore, called Inc., I-N-C, short for Incorporated, and it was a magazine about small business, for small business, about small business. And one of the articles they wrote was about a fish company in, I think it was San Francisco. Don't hold me to this. It's been probably 25 years ago, maybe longer than that now. And the fish company had a comment card box. And one day they sold more fish than anybody ever. I mean, the reason why we don't have any fish in the sea now is because they sold it all. Not really, but you know what I mean. They were a huge purveyor of fish. And they got a comment card in the comment card box that says, your fish is not fresh. And the person signed it and either gave their phone number or address or whatever, but the fish company reached out to this person and said, thank you so much for your comment. We do everything we can to make our fish the freshest possible, but we'd like to know why you think our fish is not fresh. And their fish came in off the truck, was carefully wrapped in plastic and put out on ice so that everybody could see it. I mean, it just, they did a great job with the presentation. And she said very simply, if your fish was fresh, it wouldn't be wrapped up. Perception. If your fish was fresh, it wouldn't be wrapped up. And the first temptation for them to say was, of course our fish is fresh. We know it's fresh. It's wrapped up because that's the easiest way to transport it and, to keep it fresh and not have it smell and, blah, 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 blah. But they were smart. They didn't get to be the biggest fish company in the world by being stupid. And they said, let's test this. So the very next day, they put out the exact same fish, side by side, carefully wrapped and unwrapped on the ice. And don't you know it, the unwrapped fish on the ice sold out before the other one did because of the perception that it was fresher. So what I'm doing here with my company is I'm trying to be accurate in the description, in the name, so that the perception is that the fish is fresh. Right now, the name Eastern Shore Broadcasting, it's a name. It's a name that people know. I get that, and I appreciate that, and I'm gonna continue to use it in that way. But I think live streaming gear is a little bit tighter focus, and it is the focus that we want to continue to take. I mean, back when we started, we were thinking bricks and mortar live streaming studio. We would sell vMix and teach people how to use it, and then we would, maybe sell some capture cards or something like that, and, build a PC or something. Well, it turns out that third portion has just exploded. Part of it is because vMix is the secret sauce that makes it all work. There's no doubt about that. But we want to change the name, or not change the name, but add another name to more accurately reflect that. A good example is that we've already done that with the Streaming Idiots show. Back in July 2012, the very first broadcast, this show was known by a different name. Does anybody know what that name was? Can you tell me what the name of that show was back in July of 2012? I'm waiting here in the chat. Tick, 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 tick. Come on, guys. Let me check over in the Facebook. Maybe they're smarter over in Facebook. The YouTube people are a little slacking. No, Facebook's not. I don't see anybody in Facebook responding to that, although Facebook is a little behind. Let's go back to YouTube. And Ken's, oh, look at this. Nobody knows. Oh, nope. Martin knows. Ken said VidBlaster. It was VidBlaster. And Martin has said TVG, that VidBlaster guy. And then Memories Forever said, that's right, that VidBlaster guy. And that was a case where the name was actually tied to a product that wasn't my product. And it took a little while to realize that. How could I forget, says Martin. That's right. Tommy Willis says I was there, but he's blocked it out of his mind. But it limited what we could do, and we wanted to actually do more. Talk about more than just VidBlaster, talk about capture cards and cameras and live streaming CDNs and all that stuff. Jan says his phone refused to sell VidBlaster. Well, that can happen too. And so we made a change after, I guess it was about a year and a half, something like that. We ran parallel for a while. We did it. That VidBlaster guy was an hour-long show. Oh my gosh, that was brutal. And then we split it into a half-hour-long VidBlaster show with the second part of the show being the Streaming Idiots show. And sometimes we used similar content, but sometimes one was a continuation of the other. And after, I don't know, a period of maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, I'll have to go back and check the files to see for sure. We dropped the VidBlaster show and went with just the Streaming Idiots show. And then we were free to talk about anything we wanted. Not that I wasn't free to before, but I felt an obligation if I had named the show after a product that we needed to talk about the product. And that was back in the day, 2012, when people were trying to find out just the very basics of how to live stream. And so we really didn't want to be hamstrung to just talking about the software. So we made a change and never looked back. Never looked back. I think it was a good change. It was a unique name, a name that always draws a smile or a chuckle. And everybody kind of nods their head and said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've been there, done that. Forgot to record, forgot to turn on the audio, forgot to turn on the camera. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I was an idiot. And so I guess we're doing something very similar now, as we're taking a very specific geographical location, Eastern Shore, although a lot of people think it's Eastern Shore, Maryland. It's really the Eastern Shore of Mobile Bay in Alabama. And we're not being attached geographically any longer. And we're really focusing on what it is we do. Yeah. Morning, Chris. Glad you could make it. You're late, but glad you could make it. Tommy says, I checked and realized that I have been streaming my church services and events since 2016. Holy cow, Tommy, 2016. That's 5 years. Every Sunday, 52 Sundays a year. That's 260 some odd live streams. Dude, well done. Rick says that VidBlaster guy. That is correct. Jan says, Streaming Idiots will become the Tom Sinclair show. Well, I don't think so. The trick is how to make the show go on after my premature death. I'm just teasing. I'm not dying. And I'm not planning on it anytime soon. But it would be nice to see things continue. I mean, like when Johnny Carson had the Tonight Show, there was a big search for the next guy that would take on the Tonight Show. And Jay Leno did a great job with it. Yep. OG Gamer says, Mike Versteeg, a real nice guy. I've never met him. Never talked to him. Just corresponded by email. Interesting. Yep. Interesting. Well, I sure appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us today. We did have the time change, which I think probably threw some of you a little off guard. If you were in a different part of the world and it was like, what? What do you mean? It's almost 4 o'clock Eastern time. We could do the Sandy Sinclair show. That's right. That would be even better. Weekend at Bernie's. Prop me up. That's right. We could do that too, Toby. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Coming up, I don't think it's going to be next week, but we are going to have Joe DeMax back. He's got some changes with Central Control that he's going to be releasing, and we want to get him on. Ken is like, no one has fresher data than Tom. Yeah, that was a 30-year-old story. But we want to get him on. We'll have more information about NAB as that unfolds as to what's going on there. It's not too early to make your plans for NAB. If you're in Europe and thinking about IBC, it's not too early to start making your plans there. I am hoping that I'll be able to help some of the companies that aren't going to be there have a presence there, and so I'm still working on that. give me a job while I'm there. So if you've got some ideas for me, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Next week. I might see you before that, but I'll see you next week for sure. So take care. Thanks for watching.